everyone, it's Kat and I am back today to talk about my empties. Now I am trying this year to be a lot better than past years and I want to not let my empties get out of control and do like an empties video every 6 months. So we're coming up to the end of March and I feel like 3 months is a perfect time to check in and talk about all the products I've used up in that time and what I think about them. Would I repurchase them? Would I not? All that kind of good stuff. All right, let's start with makeup. Let's start with primer because that's what you put on first here. I've got this Dermalogica primer. This is the Hydrablur primer. I've used this for years. I think I've got a couple more backups, maybe one, maybe two. This is a very nice primer. Just gonna say it is a hydrating primer, but it also sort of helps fill the pores in. So it's one of those sort of blurring primers, but it's not just like a silicone bomb. It actually feels like it's quite good for your skin. I really like it. I don't know if it's around anymore. I would repurchase it. To be fair, I'm not a big primer person. I prefer to use skincare to prime my skin. So yes, I would repurchase this. Yes, I like it, but I don't usually have a big use for it, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Foundation, my Revlon Colorstay. This is the combination oily skin one. I have been using this for, I'm going to say probably about 15 years on and off. I do like it, and occasionally I'll see it on sale and I'm like, oh, nostalgia, let's go buy it. I do think I'm getting at a point with my skin where it's getting too old to handle this. Like it doesn't look great. It's more inclined to look a little bit more crepey. It looks a little bit more dry. So I do need a formulation that might be matte and long wearing, but because I still have my oily T-zone, but I do need some hydration. So I feel like I have aged out of this, unfortunately, but it is a classic. When it comes to powders, I've got a Pixi loose powder. This was one of those white, very, very finely milled setting powders. This makes your skin very dry. It makes your base look very dry and desert-like. I would not repurchase this. I do not recommend it. Mascaras, I actually really like the NARS Climax mascara. It's not my first one. It's got a spiky brush. I think it does a good job at adding a lot of volume and length. It is not like one of those wispy, delicate ones. It is a bit, I don't want to say clumpy, that's not the right term, but it does give a bit of volume. So you want eyes to be a feature if you're going to use this. I like it. I like it. I would repurchase it. What I would not repurchase is this piece of crap. The Lancome Le 8 Hypnose. I don't know. I got this from a discount place and it does nothing. It does nothing. So it barely coats the lashes. It barely does anything. It was a huge disappointment. Warning, don't buy this garbage. This is pretty much what I'd call no mascara because it doesn't do anything. This was not good. So if you see this, even on clearance, don't fall for it. It's not good. Brow pencil, this is my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. I love these. I go back to them a lot. This to me is a pretty reliable brow pencil. I feel like the consistency of it is great. So it's not so firm that it like scratches and doesn't deposit product, but it's not so soft that it like smears products and breaks. So I feel like these are pretty reliable brow pencils if you want a micro brow pencil, but I do think that micro brow pencils are getting better these days. So some of the newer release ones, possibly a lot better, but I like it. I've used many of them and I'm going to keep using them because I really like them. 2 lip products. I've got a little Kevyn Aucoin Lip Glow lip gloss. These are really beautiful. They feel really nice. They're very, very, very shiny. Mine looks tinted pink because I'd sometimes put it over red, but this was actually like a clear with gold shimmer in it. And I think this was, I don't know if this is a one you can get permanently. This is a mini from an old Christmas pack, but a really beautiful formula. Very, very wet look, not sticky, really beautiful. And again, I don't need to repurchase any lip glosses, but I like that formula. I would use it again for sure. And then I've got a lipstick. This is my MAC Huggable lip color in Cherry Glaze. I love this. I panned it because it's getting old, but I honestly do miss it. So it is a beautiful, like a lip balm with enough color that it looks a bit like a lipstick, but it can be applied sheerly or blotted down. So it sort of looks like this beautiful sort of cherry, just like glaze. It's actually called Cherry Glaze. I understand why. It just gives a hint of sort of like corally cherry color to the lips. Or you can build it up and it looks like a bold, shiny, like bright orangey red. I love this. I love this and I miss it. And this was, I think, a limited edition release, but their Huggable lip color if you see them in stock or they re-release them, I would give them a shot because they're very nice. All right, onto skincare, and I've got 2 sunscreens that I used up recently. I've got the old school Biore UV Aqua Rich Watery Gel. This is one that I used to use a lot when I was younger. To me, I had this in the back of my drawer. I must have had a backup of it and it was unopened. I thought I'll try to use it. These days for me, this has too much alcohol in it. It actually sort of stings my skin a little bit. So I end up using this mainly on my like arms and legs and stuff because I just couldn't, even though it is light and it does feel like a gel, so it's not that thick sort of clogging sunscreen, my skin can't handle this anymore. It's just too harsh for it. What I much prefer is the Dermalogica. This is this Dynamic Skin Recovery. So this is pretty much, it feels like a moisturizer, but it's got SPF 50. It's great, but it's very expensive. To be honest, what trumps both of these is the Mecca to Save Face sunscreen. This is probably just as good, maybe a bit lighter, but it is like a lot more expensive, which I'm not a big fan of. So this is just too expensive, but it is a very, very good sunscreen and it trumps the watery, UV, alcohol-y feeling one any day of the week. Makeup removal products. I used up a little Medicate. This is just a little one that I got. I got it in like a mini pack. So it's the Eyes and Lips Micellar water. This was actually a dual phase product. So you would like shake it up and it would have like an oily layer and like this creamy layer. It worked quite well. It was really gentle, but I mainly just had this in my travel bag. So if I wanted to remove things when I was, you know, away, I liked it. Again, Medicate isn't cheap. I like Medicate. I think they're great. I've got some Medicate products here to talk about, but I probably wouldn't spend Medicate money on a micellar water. I would spend Medicate money on like a Retinol, for example. Speaking of which, let's talk about serums. I used up a Medicate. This is the Crystal Retinal 6. So what's really smart about this range is that you can buy them in different percentages. So there's a 0.1, a 0.3, a 0.6, 1%. So theoretically, you can start with Retinol, use up a tube, move on to a higher strength and do that kind of thing. Now this is a cream version. They also have an oil version, which I currently have open. I prefer that. I mainly bought this one because I got it in a pack, like there was a Christmas gift pack or something with an eye cream as well. But I prefer their oil Retinol. I feel like it's just more gentle for my skin, but Medicate I think do really, really, really great Retinols. That's where I'd put my money, not micellar water. Another thing that I have from Medicate, I've used up this, it's actually a cool purple bottle, but this is the Hydrate B5 Intense. So it's hyaluronic acid with NMF Replenish and Boost. I liked this. I think I can get just as good results from like Korean cheaper hyaluronic acids. So again, I don't mind this. Glad I tried it. But for the price point, I think it's pretty pricey. So again, I would prefer to put my money where the retinols are. Speaking of oils, I love this. This is the Paula's Choice Skin Recovery Super Antioxidant Concentrate Serum. It does have retinol, but it's a very, very small amount of retinol. So I actually layer this sometimes with other retinols. This is just a beautiful, really nourishing oil that I love using. I use this mainly at night, but it's quite a thick oil and it just really makes your skin feel nice. Now I don't have any left. Can I squeeze out a tiny bit to show you? I really drained this because, yeah. This does say you can use it at night or during the day because the retinol must be a very, very small amount. It just says that if you're going to use it during the day to put a sunscreen over it, but any strong retinols, I can't get any out because I've used it all up. It's also smelled nice. This experience was just nice. This is just one of those products that like the feel is really beautiful and it leaves my skin just happy and sort of keeps everything in. So 100% will repurchase this. I just need to deplete a couple of other Paula's Choice things to make an order worthwhile. But I really love that. I did use up this Korres Brightening Absolute Oil. So this is mainly like a rosehip oil. I mainly use this on my body. So like if I was shaving my legs, I'd sometimes put on my legs, I'd put on my cuticles. I didn't love this. I also really didn't like the chunks of roses. You'd get these little particles of like dried roses. They just weren't very nice. But yeah, good for the cuticles. Whatever, I wouldn't repurchase it. For moisturizers, I did use up an Estee Lauder. This is the Nutritious Super-Pomegranate Radiant Energy Night Cream. I got this on clearance, so it was super cheap. I got it in a 2-pack with a day cream and night cream. I'm currently using the day cream. They're all right. They're not amazing. I would not buy them full price. I think these have been discontinued, which is why they're so cheap, but they were fine. They worked. I used up a little It Cosmetics. This is Confidence in a Cream. This is a very thick moisturizer. If you've got any issues with like milia, avoid this, because this is a really, really, really thick moisturizer. If you've got the driest of dry skin, you got like flaky skin, it'd be really nice. For me, it was too rich, so I wouldn't repurchase that. Something I did love, and I'm really bummed that Elemis I can't order from overseas anymore. This little thing, so this is a little sample of the Elemis Superfood Midnight Facial. Lovely product. This was a very, very lovely night moisturizer. I would 100% repurchase this. I don't know if it's available at Mecca, but since they've got exclusivity, it's taken away all the perks that you can get when you ordered from Elemis website. So I'm a bit bitter about that, but this product is very nice. If you want to buy a nice night mask, I liked this one, would repurchase it. I also used up the Pro Collagen Marine Cream SPF 30. So again, this is just like a sample size. Again, when you used to be able to order from the website, they would throw in a lot of these samples, which was really handy because you can try things for a couple of weeks and decide if you like it. This Pro Collagen Marine Cream SPF 30, it was fine. I liked it. It was really comfortable. Probably not enough SPF for me for during the day, but it was nice. I wouldn't track it down. I wouldn't try to repurchase it. The night sort of cream thing, I would. This one, not so much. And then I also used up a Cicaplast balm from La Roche-Posay. Now, I have these dotted around my house. I've spoken about it many times. These are really great if you've got kids and they've got like rashes, if you're prone to rashes, if you're prone to like impaired barriers. This is a really good cream. I don't really like it on my face so much, but areas of like concern on your body, I think it's great for. So these are really, really great. I don't need to repurchase. I've got a few of them kicking around because they were great for like nappy rash and dribble rash and stuff when my kids were really little. I also used up a lip mask. So this is from Kiehl's and it's a really jacked up packaging because I had it in a bag with this Sukin antibacterial hand sanitizer and it leaked and it just corroded all the plastic and it was gross. So I forced myself to use it up. I think it's quite a nice lip balm. It does have like it's not like a strongly scented one. It's slightly vanilla-y. It just feels nice and thick on the lips. Not too greasy and slippery. I'd still prefer Laneige lip sleeping mask. That's where I go, but this one is not too bad. If I had it, I'd use it, but I prefer others. And then let's just talk about the hand sanitizer. I wouldn't repurchase this. There's nicer hand sanitizers out there. This one smells very strong alcohol. Yes, it works. Yes, it leaks. There's better ones out there. Body products. I used up the Lush Dream Cream Body Lotion. This is okay. I think it's a bit heavy for me and I don't like feeling slippery because I do get oily skin. So things that are quite rich on my body. It's also got a lavender scent, which I don't love. So there's a lot of things that were like, it was fine. I don't love it. Not for me. It is what it is. I used up a little Rare Beauty body lotion. I don't even have opinions about this because it was so small, but it was very perfumed. It smells very perfumed, which again, it just feels like an irritant to me. Whatever. When it comes to hair, I used up, I think I got this in like a Beauty Loop box or something. This is not, I don't think it's a full size. I think this is like a deluxe travel size. This is by Strand, the Crown Cleanse Concentrated Anti-Dandruff Prebiotic Shampoo. Now, this would be targeted to me. I don't have dandruff, but I've got areas of like flakiness, which I believe was triggered by a shampoo that I used, I think, the start of last year, and I still haven't been able to shake it. I've been trying to use all these things that help my scalp, and this didn't actually make any impact, I'm just going to say. So it is what it is. I've had this Redken All Soft Conditioner in my shower for, I'm not kidding you, probably about 1.5 years. I've got the shampoo as well. This went a lot quickly because my kids have been using it a bit sometimes, but the shampoo, I've been sort of not really using them since I've had that sort of dryness issue. These don't trigger it, but they don't make it any better, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't love this. I mainly bought it, to be fair. I bought the two. I think it was, again, on a heavily reduced sort of thing. I bought them because back in the day when I had a housemate, she was very luxe and la-di-da, and she used these, and there was part of me that like I couldn't afford them, and I was always like, oh, I wish I had nice hair products and stuff. So I bought them just because I was like, I want to see what they're like, and it just reminded me of that time, and I don't love them. So there we go. I'm working through them slowly, especially the shampoo. Because of that dry issue, I sort of use it every like third or fourth wash, or sometimes I'll use it as like a pre-wash and then follow up with more of a scalp helping wash. I don't know. These are a struggle. Anyway, slowly getting through them. And last thing is something that I always have in my collection. This is very handy. It's isocol. So this is isopropyl alcohol. This is great for multiple reasons. If you've got gel nail polish and you want to take the like sticky layer off, if you want to sanitize your bench, if you want to put it in a spray bottle, spray your makeup or your brushes to sanitize it. If you want to spot clean a brush, this is great. So I really like isocol. And I've got another bottle, I've repurchased it. So that's my empties for now. I forgot that I have an empty fragrance. So this is actually by the brand Skylar. Now that is a US based fragrance brand, and they do ship these sort of roll-on versions internationally, but not the big sprays. Ironically, I ordered a few, and if you ordered a few and you'd get one free, this was the one that I got free. It happened to be the one I liked most. So this is Lime Sands. Now I love lime, but it did have coconut in it, which I was a bit concerned about, but I love this. It's a really nice lime, and it's really soft, and it's really sort of subtle, but really easy to wear. So if you like lime and you're a bit scared of the coconut, don't worry. This is really nice. I would repurchase the full bottle of this, but they don't ship to Australia, and they're actually pretty expensive for what they are. This wears off very quickly, but it was a really lovely handbag fragrance. It was really easy to reapply because it just smells nice and fresh, and yeah, it was pleasant. So love it. So I would repurchase that if I had the chance. All right, so those are all my empties for the first, let's say, quarter of the year. I'll have on the screen how many I used. Obviously some are samples, some are mini sizes, some are full sizes, whatever. It is what it is. It's a mixed bag. Let me know what you've been using up a lot recently. I know I'm getting into the winter months, so moisturizers. Sometimes I double moisturize, which means that I go through a lot of moisturizers, but we'll see how we go. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my members for supporting my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.